please. It's thinking. Okay, we should be live. I'm going to give it a second. See if it pops up on my phone, which I also have up. It says my event will go live in 0 seconds. Hopefully we're live. If you can hear us and see us, say something in the chat so we know we're not alone. I am super excited for tonight. Oh, I see we have viewers. Good, yay, we can move forward. Welcome to the celebration. I published a book today, which is insane, so that's exciting. I'm Mandi Grace, for anyone who doesn't know. I am currently rewriting and republishing a Robin Hood series, so that's what I'm doing, and I don't know what else to say about myself, so Carrie, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Carrie. I write as C.K. Sorens, mostly just because it's shorter than my real name. I have the start of 2 series out. I have 2 books in one series. It's a urban fantasy called the Trimark series. And then I have a new book coming out in a box set in October, and it's called 18 Wishes. And that one is a romantic urban fantasy. It's the one Mandi probably knows the most about because she's been with me for much of the writing process. So it's been a journey.
I am very excited for 18 Wishes. It's insane. It's insane. You guys are gonna freak out, hopefully in a good way. To start with the stream, I'm going to do a couple little housekeeping things really quick. Not really housekeeping, but announcements, I guess. There are giveaways and you can win things, so you're going to need to be active in the chat. There'll be a game very soon, at which point you will have to, answer questions and hopefully win something. And then at the end, there will be another giveaway. And I have someone downstairs who's collecting names of people who are commenting and interacting, and then I will draw from the bowl at the end, and you can win a signed copy of my book, and also the audiobook codes for Carrie, yes? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that will be at the end, so just be active and be, leaving comments, chit-chatting, all the things. To start with, you don't get to win anything for this, but I do want to know what everyone's favorite Robin Hood story is, either books or films, TV shows, whatever. Just tell me what's up, because I published a Robin Hood story today, so it feels very on theme. My favorite is probably the Disney version with the fox, because it's nostalgic and it's what I grew up with, and that's where my love of Robin Hood started. So that's probably my favorite. Carrie, do you have a favorite Robin Hood story?
I think I told you before. My favorite is Men in Tights. Funny story, I'm not actually a huge comedy lover, but I love that show. So I am a Carrie Elwes fan. So we happen to share a first name.
It's not spelled the same. I don't know if you can count it.
Why not?
I guess. Sure. Does anyone have yes, Men in Tights? People agree with you. I know my cousin's favorite is Men in Tights. I think I watched that one once when I was very young, and so I thought it was rather sacrilegious at the time. I was like, this is too much, I can't take it. But I think if I watched it now, I would find it actually entertaining and I would enjoy it. But I watched it, I think I was I don't know, 17 or 18 when I watched it, which is when I started writing my Robin Hood, and I was like, this just feels too much. I can't take it, it's too much. Anyway, what are we saying about, I think my favorite Robin Hood that CW put out, I don't know if I've seen that. Fascinating. I will have to look into that. There's a Robin Hood I haven't seen. I would not have said that was possible, but apparently there is. Yes to the Kevin Costner one, definitely, absolutely. I don't see any other comments. So if you have other, feel free to drop in the comments, but we're going to move to the game, which I'm actually very excited about. I had fun putting this together because for all of my streams, like the Legend of the Thief one I just did last month, but also for Return to Sherwood and Return to Grace years ago, I've always done Robin Hood trivia. And I left the comment up. Hold on. Let me just take you down, Ellie. I've just always done trivia, but I decided that I wanted to do something more entertaining or different. So here's what we're doing. I am going to ask a question that may or may not be too vague. I don't know. When I put them together this afternoon, one of them I was like, this should be easy. And then another one I was like, is this too much? I don't know. Anyway, but because I write fairy tale and folklore retellings, I thought it would be fun to like make you guess fairy tales and folklore. My books currently lean more toward folklore because I have Robin Hood and then I have a King Arthur story that I'm working on, which is not published yet. But I also intend to write fairy tales at some point, and it's all kind of the same genre-esque anyway, so I'm doing both. So get excited. If you answer the first question, you will get a bookmark. Either a pretty one that has, the pretty one that has covers on it, or the less pretty one that has my name. So those are those are the options for that. But if you are also the person who wins the second game or question rather, if you win both, then you get to like upgrade slightly to a mug. And if you happen to win all three, which I doubt will happen, but maybe one person will just know all the fairy tales and folklore. If you happen to win all three, I will give you one of my books. So there you go. Get excited, folks. So we're going to start with the first one. So here's, I'm going to read the question, but it's also going to, I'll leave this up, be scrolling across the bottom in case you don't really understand my question. And I'll read it again if people need that. But anyway, here we go. So in which fairy tale or folklore story did the protagonist face the choice of killing her love, the prince, or dying? Let me know what you think. Also, Carrie, if you have guesses, you can throw them out.
You know, I don't know. The only thing I think comes close and is not the answer is Ella Enchanted. But it won't die if she doesn't kill him. So
Yeah.
I don't.
Let's see. What are people saying? Comments.
I are like,
on the same wavelengths tonight. Yes. Actually, this is the correct answer. So in the original tale, Little Mermaid doesn't end up with the prince. He marries someone else, and she can't go back to the sea. They're like, no, you can kill him and come home, or you can like just die, which is essentially, I think, like becoming the foam on the water. But she chooses not to kill him, but also she doesn't die in the end of the story. She like becomes sort of like an air being of some sort. She skirts around and does a third option.
Like the series come and save her or something, isn't that true?
Yeah, probably. Well, let me remove that banner. So that was the first one. Great participating, you guys. That was actually, apparently that was easy because Emily got it right away. Or she's just really fond of The Little Mermaid. I don't know. So we're going to read the second one this time. Yeah, get excited. Here we go. In which fairy tale or folklore story did a knight decapitate a woman and then wear her head? This is my personal favorite. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know.
I was reading a lot of things this afternoon, and when I came across this, I was just like, I have to use that one.
Now I know that it happens in Over the Rainbow, that one, The Wizard of Oz, but it's a woman who wears other women's heads.
What? I did not know that.
Yeah, so she actually has like a room of collected heads, like their hats, and she just puts on whatever head she wants to wear that day.
Weird. That's I'm a little disturbed by that. I like it though. It's not Beauty and the Beast. I like that guess. Beauty and the Beast is my favorite fairy tale, but that's there's no decapitating people in that as far as I know. We could add some. Any other guesses, people? If you want a hint, it leans more towards the folklore rather than fairy tale, which might make it more difficult. I don't know. I can give you more hints if nobody knows. This was definitely the one that I had the most fun writing a question for, but apparently it's more obscure. It's fine.
I mean, I can do what I did last time when I won and Google it really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Google it. It'll probably be the first thing that pops up. Okay, more hints. People want more hints. Let's see. So I'm trying to think of a hint that doesn't like give it away. Another like big element of this particular folklore story is an affair. A fairly big one that you all should know. Are you Googling, Carrie? What do you got? What do you got? Somebody guess something. There are no comments. Come on, you guys. Follow Carrie's example and Google it. If you need another hint, I did name drop the specific folklore story in this stream. So Emily says something Shakespeare. No, but I could definitely see that being a thing in Shakespeare. But no.
It is not coming up as the first result.
Is it not? That's crazy. Well, apparently no one's going to win this one. Scarlet Letter comes to mind. Nope, that's not it. Wow, I didn't expect this to be so hard. Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you guys. I didn't add like extra hints to the questions. I don't know. Okay, we'll be very straightforward, and if you paid attention to what I said a minute ago, you should know the answer. Also, if you know me, you should know the answer. So I'm writing a fantasy series inspired by this particular story. Who's going to type it first? That's the real question. Ah, there it is. So yes, it is one of the many different King Arthur stories and Arthurian legends, because there's a million different things. It started as like a Welsh and then like Celtic story, and then France picked it up a century later, and then it was just like, you know, every century they just rehashed it and changed it, and eventually King Arthur stopped being the main character of the story, but that's neither here nor there. Yes, so in one specific story, a knight does decapitate a woman and then wear her head home for some reason. So there you go. Yep, it's definitely King Arthur. Yep, definitely. So there you go. That was that. We have one more, which hopefully won't be as hard. This is the one that I thought was the easiest, so hopefully it is easy for you. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna read it now. In which fairy tale or folklore story did the protagonist's family members intentionally maim their feet?
Oh.
Carrie knows. This one should not be hard. I have faith in you people. I don't see any comments though.
There would be what reason you think sense for someone to name their feet?
Yeah, why would people be naming their feet?
I got it. Here's an answer.
Yep. It is Cinderella. That's the one. Correct. Yep. That's the one. So those are my three silly little questions I put together that I actually really enjoyed doing. I did not expect the King Arthur one to be quite as difficult, but I suppose that might be because I'm very familiar with the King Arthur stories. It's fine. That's how I feel about the Robin Hood trivia too. Like I always do the Robin Hood trivia and I'm like, this is too easy. It's too easy. And then I do it and everyone's like, huh? Who? I've never heard of this person. Yeah, don't think about it too hard. It's fine. I like violence. I enjoy it. Don't take that seriously. So at this point in this stream, I'm actually going to turn it over to Carrie and let her talk about her books and whatever else she wants to do. So this is your chance to shine, Carrie. Let me remove the banners and then take it away.
Perfect. Okay, so I write what I like to call gritty urban fantasy with coming of age themes. So it's kind of like in the upper YA, lower NA area of reading. But I have my series Trimarked, and I actually have this one was published in 2020, and this one just came out in March this year. And these are the books that I have audiobook codes for that will be part of the giveaway at the end. So our main character, Ember, poor girl, was basically cursed before she was even born. She was born of a witch father, a human mother, and on Fey soil. So they basically think she's a ticking time bomb of magic. And so they bound her with this tattoo of the Trimark. Trouble is, now that she's like, once she hit about 12, she found out that she does have some powers. Not necessarily what they consider magic, but she does have some powers. And if they find out, then her life could get a lot more difficult than it already is, just as the town's outcast. And so the book opens with somebody discovering her secret. And there's no place to go in this town because it is actually a bubble town where you cannot go in or out. There's been a malfunction in magic around this town. So she has nowhere to run and hide. She has to either figure out how to negotiate to get out of this, or maybe make a deal, or she's going to get caught. So that is our first book. And then the second book, spoiler, she was caught but not caught. In our second book, a new antagonist is brought in. She is a queen, capital Q, who can spread her soul among the magic users and take over their bodies. So now Ember is in a race to stop her from taking over again this bubble town and controlling the people of Trifecta. And it turns out that power that's not quite magic is actually one of the keys that's going to help her take down that queen. So that is the Trimarked series. I feel like I should ask any questions. Those audiobooks are available. It's by the lovely Jillian Yatter and Rob Brinkman. So I have dual narrators. And she reads the female POV chapters and he reads the male POV chapters, and they're amazing. I call them voice actors because they really truly have brought the story to life. When am I writing book 3? When my migraines go away. So I've been struggling with migraines for about 2 weeks now. I'm on the mend. I'm almost over with them, but I have all my notes compiled. The nice thing about this time is I've been able to make some notes and brainstorm, and I am ready. I am ready to write book 3. But I do have a third book that's not part of the Trimark series. This is 18 Wishes. Although I have a paperback copy here, it's mine. It's not, it's actually going to be released in an ebook anthology with 40 other full-length novels called Realm of Darkness. This one is older, so my character, this is definitely a fade to black romance. It takes place in Las Vegas with genies, and I'm really excited about this one. It talks about the choosing to do what's right and if that's actually what you think it is. But there's Jacoa, our male MC, who is the master of this genie, and there's Isra, who was actually born to hunt genies, and by a wish was then cursed to become a genie herself. And so they both want one of this out of this situation, but in different ways. And so they have to figure out if they can work together or not. And obviously it's a romance, so we would assume they would work together. And it's exciting. So this has Jinn magic based on the chakra system. It has LGBTQ rep, and there's also there's sorcerers in here. There's lost my train of thought. But this is this is my baby now. Of course, it's my new one. But I did want to read my dedication, and I don't think Lauren is on here, but Lauren is part of Mandi and my writing group called Quill & Cup, and she really helped me with this book. So I have the dedication to her, and I just wanted to read it live for the first time for everybody here. It's to Quill & Cup, who brought me balance, and Lauren, who loved the story before I did. So you can all tell her.
I love that dedication so much. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Was there anything else you wanted to say?
It's good. Go get it. Oh, Realm of Darkness it has all of these books, these 40 plus books. It is only 99 cents, and you can find it like everywhere. I think Mandy's going to have the link for you. And you're recording now. Okay, if nobody minds. Okay, so this is the dedication that has been included in my 18 wishes. I'm reading it live for everybody. It says, to Quill & Cup, who brought me balance, and Lauren, who loved the story before I did. Thank you, Danny.
I do have everything linked, or should be everything linked, that you could possibly need in the description down below. So all of Carrie's books, the Realm of Darkness box set, Carrie's socials, like literally everything. I think her newsletter's late, like everything is down there. And then my links are there as well. So you can go find anything you need to follow us or to get our books or whatever. It should all be in the description. And if there's something you're looking for that's not there, shoot me a message and I can add it. I was rather impressed with the long list of things that I put this time. I feel like on the last stream I didn't do the author's justice because I felt like I kind of slapped it together. But with this one I was like, I'm putting everything and it's all going to be there. I was on top of it.
I'm sure.
What was that?
I said I'm sure.
No, thank you. I'm very excited for 18 Wishes, partly because I think just like watching you write it and go through the whole process, like I feel connected to it somehow, like I have stakes in this and I'm very excited. But also just the fact that there are Jinn involved. My favorite fantasy series is inspired by Jinn, and so I was just like this, I'm super excited. I can't wait.
Nice. What's your favorite fantasy series?
Stolen Kingdom by Bethany Oxzada. I'll put it in the chat. Her husband is Persian, and I think they were watching Aladdin, and when he saw the genie, was like, that's actually based off Jinn or whatever. And she was like, huh? What's that? What? So then they talked about it, and then she was inspired by that, and then she started writing a book, and then she wrote a whole series, and I adore it. So.
Yeah, Jinn lore is amazing. They were a people before humans, and they could access magic, and they would trade with humans and all of that thing in Jinn lore. But in my book, Jinn are free, but if they get caught in this genie contract, then they become genies and they have to grant wishes. And it's actually a slight perversion of the Jinn magic. And of course they're trapped and can't move around on their own, which my Jinn are very fluid. They can change shape. They can build castles in the sky, and trapping them to a vessel of any is just, it's really, really crushing to their souls. So in this book, actually, I'll go into it. In 18 Wishes, Isra must grant Jacoa 18 wishes in 1 year in order to free all the genies. But of course, she used to be a genie hunter and doesn't really want to. So, but it becomes a very important note of contention between them.
I cannot be more excited for this book. I really can't. I am dying to read it. I cannot wait.
Well, the ART is available.
I know, but I didn't feel like, that's too much pressure. Because then I would have to write a review, which is not a bad thing. I like when people review books, but like writing a review specifically for like a friend of mine's book, and then like I don't know how to be concise and like it stresses me out. I can't do it. So I might read it and write a review, but I couldn't like promise you I'm going to review it for you.
Danny asked how many books are in the new series. 4 is the current plan. That said, the Trimarked series was originally going to be 5, and then it became 6.
So who knows? So. Nice. Anything else you want to add?
I'm sure it'll pop up along the way.
Probably. Cool. I've already said I'm excited for this book, but I'm going to say it again. I'm very excited for this book. Yeah, I am. Moving on, though, I don't have a physical copy of The Journey of the Peacekeeper to hold and be like, this is the book I'm talking about now, because everything with this book was just behind. So I did get my physical copy. I ordered it, but it's not here, so it's fine. It's whatever. I have The Legend of the Thief, which is, I have to assist my arm in raising. Don't touch me. Anyway, The Legend of the Thief, which is book 1, is over here. And I do have the original Journey of the Peacekeeper. So a little backstory for anyone who happens to not know. I imagine everyone does at this point, but we're going to explain it anyway. So I wrote a Robin Hood series years ago, starting when I was a teenager, and I self-published all of them. So there were 5 books, and I did the covers myself, and I did everything, and it was an interesting experience. But it was good for the most part. At some point, I grew rather embarrassed of the books that I had written, so I stopped promoting them or talking about them or even like acknowledging that they existed. And then I came around to them over the last like year and a half, being like, you know what, I did this thing and that's actually pretty cool. And it's okay that 17-year-old me did not have beautiful writing. Like that's it's fine. But even so, even like accepting them, I still wanted to give the stories like, I don't know, what they deserve, I guess. I wanted to tell these stories and be able to be proud enough to share them so that people could read them and enjoy these characters. And like, yeah, I wanted to give these stories, like, I felt like they deserved it. Anyway, so here we are, and I'm rewriting all of them and republishing all of them. This time around, I'm not doing the covers myself because that's not actually a strength of mine. So I have a professional cover designer this time, but I'm having a blast, and all of the books are like twice as big as the originals now. It's turned into a whole thing. But today I published book 2, which is The Journey of the Peacekeeper. It used to be called Always in Shadow. Ooh, I don't know if you can see this. Always in Shadow. Nope, wrong side. Little flowers coming up out of the snow. So yeah, this book follows Much, who is a servant in Locksley Manor, and he's always wanted to be treated as a son to the Earls. To the Earl, because he grows up with Robin, who is the Earl's son, and he's supposed to serve Robin and that sort of thing, but he really craves the affection that Robin gets, and he wants that for himself, but the Earl makes it very clear to Much from the time he's like 5 years old that he doesn't love him, and Much doesn't hold any value. His opinions don't matter, like he just has no worth whatsoever. His only value is in serving Robin, and so Much's entire identity gets wrapped up in serving Robin. Like if he's serving Robin well, then okay, he's valid. But otherwise, like he doesn't matter. So that's where he starts the story. And then Robin decides to go off on the Crusades and fight in this war and like win glory or whatever. And Much does not want to go. He has no desire to fight. He doesn't want to be there, but his opinions don't matter. So he does exactly what Robin tells him he has to do, because that's what he's supposed to do. And over the course of his journey, he has to decide that whether or not he's going to let the Earl's evaluation of who he is be fact, or if he's going to break free of that. So there you go. That was a fun little pitch that I did off the cuff. I'm so proud of myself. I had it written down because we do pitch prickles in our writing group, and I always read off of my screen. So I had pulled up to read off of it, but I didn't. So I feel good about that. Anyway, there you go. So that's the book that published today. Thanks, Emily. He's kind of one of my favorites too. I love him. He's basically me. I don't know what that says about me, but here we are. Actually, with his story, it's wild because like in Always in Shadow, I wanted to take him on this journey where like he learns to see his value and like accept that he has things to say and people need to listen sometimes. And like, I don't know, just that his opinion matters and his voice matters and things. And I wanted to do that for him, but in the first time that I wrote it, it wasn't a transformative journey. Like he starts out very meek and timid and like you can walk all over him and he will let you because he doesn't matter. He has no value. His opinions don't matter, whatever. And by the end of the book, he's, meek and timid and will let anyone walk all over him. Like he doesn't change. I wanted him being always in shadow to like change at the end. He's not in Robin's shadow and like, but he doesn't. Yeah. And then I came back to rewrite it like almost 10 years later. And I feel like I've been on such a transformative journey. Like I've grown into a person that I understand my own worth and I can speak up if I need to. And like, I've become the sort of person that Much was supposed to become. So now I'm able to write his story and like he actually changes this time, which is great. So that's always good. Yeah, that's all I had to say about that. That was a fabulous pitch. Why, thank you. I always watch back the lives, mostly because I get anxious and I'm like, did I say anything stupid? So then I rewatch the entire thing. So I imagine I'm going to watch it back and be like, wow, I said a lot or whatever. But I felt good doing it, so I think we're gonna like hold on to that emotion. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say specifically except that the book is out now. There's a link in the description that will take you to all of the distributors, ebook, paperback, all things. So you can go get it if you would like to. The books in the series are written as a series, but also as standalones. So you can pick up the journey of the Peacekeeper even if you haven't read The Legend of the Thief, or you could do both. Like they're written so that you should be able to read them as standalones, but also they go together, basically. Yeah, so it will have a like book 2 on the spine, but it's not like a bad thing if you don't read the first one first. Anyway, I'm rambling now. So we're going to do the giveaway because that's next. So I do have someone downstairs who should be bringing me a bowl of names, and I will draw something. And one of you will win a signed copy of The Journey of the Peacekeeper, which I can't show you because I don't have a physical copy, but I will get one and I will sign it. And then also Carrie's audiobook codes. So I'm going to pause momentarily while I wait for the bowl. Oh, my door has opened. Stretch it out. Okay, I have a bowl. Get excited. Am I in the bowl? You should be in the bowl, Danny. Everyone who has been commenting and active in the chat, what do I need to get in the bowl? Danny, you should be in the bowl. I promise. You were commenting. Their name should be in here somewhere.
You took a video of our video, Danny. You're probably in the bowl.
You're probably in the bowl. Yeah. Okay. I think I mixed them up enough. Here we go. What we got? Who we got? Lily, you win my book and Carrie's audiobooks. So
yeah,
I know how to contact you, which makes this easy.
Hi.
Yay! I love it. What a great response. I love it. Perfect. So there you go. That is what I have for like the official stream things. If we want to keep chatting, I have some like topic points for Carrie and I, if anyone's interested in like or how we approach certain writing things, or the Hedgie House, our writing group, or like various things we could talk about if people are interested. I will give it a second to see if anyone is interested. Yeah. Let us know what you want. What do you want to know? About the books? About writing? What are you drinking, Carrie?
Oh, what am I drinking? Eucalyptus for my throat.
Mm-hmm.
So I always have a cold drink and a warm drink when I do these lives because you never know which one you need. And then I also always have a napkin because you never know if you're going to actually miss your mouth.
I definitely did kind of miss my mouth a little bit earlier, and I just sort of was like, it's fine. Nobody noticed. I'm just stroking my chin.
Nobody notices. It's just if you're uncomfortable, then people start to notice you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. Gotta be sly and confident. That's what it is. Here's a question. Bought a bunch of craft books today. What craft book have you read recently? So the last ones that I read, wow, this is terrible. The last actual craft book I read was in June when I read the fantasy fiction formula, which is great, by the way. It actually carries the reason I read that book. Highly recommend it. It was lovely. I did it. So I'm supposed to read I like to read a craft book every month. And I have been doing that for like 2 or 3 years at this point. I did not read one in August. Everybody shamed me. It's fine. August was a terrible month. Yes.
No shame.
So far in September, I was reading sort of like help, but like 1,000 different adjectives you could use, or like so not really like craft books. So I think the last one I read would have been fantasy fiction formula, which is great. What about you, Carrie?
I've only done book club books this year, actually. Now that I think about it, I did Big Magic with the Quill and Cup Book Club, and then I also did On Writing with Stephen King with the Quill and Cup Book Club. I have accumulated more craft books because I really like them, but I haven't gotten around to reading them yet because, to be honest, I've been reading. I like to sign up for advanced reader copies and beta reads and stuff like that, and that's pretty much taken up a lot of my reading hours. So that's where I've been.
What just because I feel like chatty, what books did you buy, Danny? Mm-hmm. I'm curious because you bought a ton. I don't know what that means precisely. Carrie, what's your favorite craft book like ever? If you would recommend one. Yes, think about it.
Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott, if I could only recommend one, because that is a good balance of craft and mindset. And I have more favorite craft books. I have more favorite mindset books, but for like the one right down the middle, yeah, Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott is my pick.
I have not read that one, to be honest. But I should add it to my list. My favorite for me specifically is probably Save the Cat, because it's the first craft book that I read after publishing 8 books, because that's how I do things. And it just like completely blew my mind, and I was like, oh, that's how story works. And it was amazing and completely changed how I approach writing altogether. And after that, I decided I was going to read a craft book every month, and until this past August, I did do that. So I have a lot of craft books that I've enjoyed and that I would recommend, but I always go back to Save the Cat because I was like, that was the first one, and it changed everything.
Yeah. Save the Cat when I finished the novel. Mm-hmm. I could never get the transition between Act 2 and Act 3 right.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Danny, I have not heard of the Creating Character Arts.
This is so good. It's such a good one. I loved it so much. It was great. It's definitely one of my favorites. After reading for like 2-3 years, however long I've been doing this, after reading a craft book every single month, some of them start to get a little redundant, and I'm like, I've already heard this, or I've heard this better, like someone else presented this information in a better fashion than you did. Like there was a point in time where I was reading craft books and I was like, why am I still doing this? But then I read this one and I was like, I am learning things. So yeah, I really like it.
I only read them on recommendation anymore because of exactly what you said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. I do have, I'm going through Danny's list still, sorry.
So am I, very slowly.
I have this one. I have the self-editing. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I have the emotion disorders. I really like it. I also just bought that and haven't cracked that open yet because
I don't have it, but I kind of wanted to get it, especially after the retreat when Chris Ann was going through it, and I was like, I should get this. I should get this.
Yeah.
The Enneagram is such a great way. I mean, like, personally, it's lovely, but like, it's such a great way to build characters. It's brilliant. I love it. That also blew my mind. That was, that was crazy.
So, yeah. So all these recommendations. It's okay.
What's the one story that hides in your drafts that you think you'll never publish? Excuse me, sorry, my nose. I have a story that was inspired by a TV show that will probably never see the light of day. I watched Switched at Birth and loved it. It's about these two girls who get switched in the hospital, go home with the wrong family. And then when they're in high school, they find out that they went home with the wrong family. And then the two families come together and become sort of one jumbled family as the girls try to figure out their identity and like, who are we really and how do we interact, whatever. I also loved it because one of them is deaf. And I have always been really fond of, that seems like a weird way to say it, but I love the deaf community. And I have been learning ASL for years. And like, I love the deaf community, I do. So I loved that show and I loved how much ASL was used in it. And it was just delightful. They even have one episode where there's no sound whatsoever. Like there's just nothing. They just do an episode where it's silent and you just have to have subtitles and the ASL that they're using. And it was just brilliant. Anyway, so I saw the show and then I started writing a book where kids get switched at birth. None of them are deaf because I didn't feel that I could actually write that community and represent it well, but I did like the switched at birth idea, but I don't think I've ever actually going to finish that story. So, yeah. Do you have one?
That I'll never publish. That's hard because I'm echoing on your side, Mandy. Because I do have folders and folders and folders of archived stories, but Trimarked, for example, I pulled 2 novels that I had actually finished and tore them apart and put a whole new protagonist in to write the story. So I don't know. I don't know if there's anything in my drafts that I would never go back to.
I feel like there's probably a lot. Like I have a bunch of, when I get ideas, I just sit down and write. So I have a bunch of like 2 or 3 chapters of the beginning because I usually like spew what I'm thinking and then I'll plot it and then like actually approach writing it. So I have a bunch of like 2 or 3 chapters of random nonsense in my Google Drive that I will probably never do anything with. It's just there. It's just hanging out. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't see any other questions, and we have been here for 45 minutes. So if we feel that we're good, I mean, we got all the things. We did a giveaway, super fun stuff. There are links in the description again to get Carrie's books, to get my books, to follow both of us on all of the things, join newsletters, whatever you could possibly desire is in the description. So be sure to. Oh no, Emily. So, yes, this is a book that I might have been writing in high school for Emily. We don't have to talk about the pickle prince. I love to talk about that though. The door has opened. Hi, Fury. You can't get into the corner. What are you doing? You want to say hi? Nope, he's walking away. Okay, dog is going. Anyway, you almost had a dog view, but he left. So yeah, I was trying to do an outro and then I got distracted by the pickle prints. Anyway, I am glad that you decided to hang out with us. I hope you're excited for the books that we're talked about. I'm most excited for 18 Wishes, I think. I can't wait for that. It's going to be great. Also, it's coming in a box set, so there will also be other fun fantasy stories, and it's probably going to be great. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a paranormal fantasy romance set. So lots of different choices in there. There's a Little Mermaid retelling. There's some Tengu, Japanese inspired work. It's an amazing collection.
Cool. I'm excited. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm really bad at outros, so I'm just going to end the broadcast now before I keep rambling. But I appreciate that you were here, and I will make sure to get all of the winners' things to the peoples. So there you go. Look forward to that.
Thank you for hosting.
Yeah.